All right. Welcome to the best of 7 finals for Copa America Season 2. This is the grand finals. There's nothing else after this. There's going to be a couple of weeks, or I think it's actually only 2 weeks or something of downtime, but the Season 3 qualifier signups have already started, guys. So if you want to play in Season 3 of Copa America, make sure you go sign up. Get her done. But well, let's not dilly-dally. I'm Rifkin's casting today with Zombie Grub here in the Grand Finals of Copa America, spawning in the lower central portion of the map. From Root Gaming, it is last season's reigning champion, the Red Terran Major.
In the upper left, as the blue Protoss, it's Desrow.
I got a bit of a funny story about these two, since we don't have anything crazy opening here. When we were at MLG Anaheim, we got to meet a lot of the players, which was kind of cool. And I've told stories about Major in the past, but the best, trolliest thing I think that happened was Hearthstone and Mini Razor. Well, actually, I don't know who's leading it, but Hearthstone and Mini Razor were like helping him out. For those who don't know, Desrow, Major, kind of bigger guys, you know, whatever, not a big deal. But we started walking, and they were like, we're going to go get food. And I didn't really know what was going on, because I was just like hanging out with all the players, having a good time. And I think we walked for like 20 minutes before Major finally says, like, we're not going for food, are we? You're just trying to trick me into exercising. And then Desrow was just kind of like, no, Major, come on. Like, Desrow was like turning to like a competition. It was actually kind of funny. So we did eventually end up going to IHOP after like 30 minutes of walking in circles with these guys. And Scumbag Hearthstone and Mini Razor, man. Tricking us gamers into getting exercise. Not cool.
Whatever, man. I'm working out every day. I'm gonna get swole.
Swole as hell. Swole as hell.
Fat and turnt, apparently. These kids.
I've heard that one, but I don't know what that one means. Turnt.
Drunk.
That means drunk?
Yeah, you're gonna get drunk.
God, I hate being old. Can't keep
I know,
up the
right?
lingo.
Like, some guy in my Skype chat was like, you know, you guys gonna get turnt, and all of us old people were like, stop it, because he's in high school. Do you know
how long it took me to like adjust to YOLO? Like, I've only just recently gotten over that.
Oh well, no one actually says YOLO.
I'm just saying, like, I can't. There's no way I'm getting used to turned. Anyways, speaking of what's going on here, we almost had Engine Name Block possibly coming down here. We did see Desrow bring out 2 probes specifically to prevent this from happening, but there is a Reaper on the way, so these 2 probes gotta be a little bit careful. It's not that mothership core to protect them, not yet at least.
Yeah, and Desrow did go ahead and cancel the Zealot. Feeling the engineering block surely would not happen now, and that's not a Nexus.
Credit where credit's due, by the way, since I see some people bringing this up in chat about the map intros. We did not make these ones, but I mean, Base Trade TV, we have our own map intros and all those cool things, but it's the VIU Studios here. They partner with Copa America. They do a lot of the cool graphics for them. They're the wonderful folks who take care of the map intros, and they make them look so cool. So love them, hate them, whatever your choice on it. The matter is, they're the guys who take care of it. So if you want to send them awesome feedback, now you know where to send it. One of the guys, of course, in charge of a lot of this, Coyote, and you've probably seen some of his stuff if you're a StarCraft fan at this point. He does video work for everybody. Hell, he did video work with us, which was cool. But Major taking a CC behind this. I like the extra Raxes coming down. 3 racks is not exactly something that's going to be like, okay, Major, where's the all-in? Because, of course, Terran players don't really have that option too early on. But if we saw something crazy like 5, then there's another can of worms.
Did you actually watch the Pro League Finals?
No, I was at a wedding, if you forgot.
I don't know. Maybe you brought a laptop or watched it on your cell phone?
Yes, you know what? It was the best man was giving his speech, and I was like, hey, hold up. I gotta get a signal real quick.
It was at like 4 in the morning. I don't think your best man was giving a speech by then.
No, I was absolutely asleep, getting ready for the wedding then.
Well, anyway, so you just lack passion. Okay, it's fine. It's whatever.
Okay, yeah.
But you should watch it when you have time, is what I'm saying. Because wait, should I spoil it now that you're actually gonna watch it? I don't know.
Well, I want to thank you for bringing up this pertinent information and this relevance to the cast. It was really good of you.
I'm gonna spoil it.
I'm assuming there was a Terran
FU.
all-in at some point for this.
Yeah, the finals of Pro League, it was game number 6 and SKT was down like to their last life, and TY 2-raxed a Protoss on Frost cross position. No problem. And he won.
Cool. Yeah. Fantastic.
So, no cheese? I think not, mister.
I didn't say no cheese. This is not gonna all-in with 3 Raxes.
You said that Terrans don't really have options to all-in early on.
Exactly. When did I say cheese? Get out of here.
All-in and cheese? Oh my god.
Anyways, start me up here at the ramp. He's going to force out an overcharge, possibly, potentially. Of course, these Stalkers can't really fight too well here. They can kind of run until Stim's done. But of course, once Stim kicks in, Bio kind of takes precedence over most gateway-related things. But does get the overcharge. Going to lose a Marine for it. A little bit.
You know?
He's going to get the Marauder too, actually, which wouldn't be too bad. Ooh.
Oh, wow. Wow. Oh,
Wow.
how did I not get that?
This Stalker's totally like stuttered to shoot too, like they did the little half animation, and I guess he just pulled back or something. But is gonna lose another Stalker if not careful. Falls back to the overcharge. Major's coming with another round real quick here. This is just meant to be light pressure. Like Desrow feels dedicating too heavily to chasing. Oh, although sniping off a Marauder, there's really nice.
So what's really important is that Major, not only did he try and like force the overcharge and kill some Stalkers, which he's doing a magnificent, oh my god, job of, by the way, but he also tried, yeah, I know, right? He tried to get scouting too with the Reaper. You know, he went in this way and his Reaper tried to go up into the main. It didn't actually work, so he has no idea that Twilight Council was down or 2 gateways were down. It isn't an all-in though, he does have Blink.
It is one of those things though where you gotta look at this and kind of be like, wait, are you getting Blink? Why do you have so many Stalkers? Desrow a little bit hesitant to blow that overcharge because he wanted Major to be in range of it, not kite away this time. So he will get some secured kills, but loses a little bit of mining time. I think about 6 probes actually went down there. A little bit more than I expected.
So that last one, 2 health.
Yeah, well, that's the Marauder, right? It's karma for karma. I do like that Major's throwing out a ton of bunkers behind this, though. He doesn't quite know what Desrow's going to respond with, and quite frankly, when you force a Protoss player to do using 2 overcharges this early, a lot of the times it's like, okay, well, nailed it. Gonna go just throw down 4 gateways and have at her.
He did see that he had Blink, so he has no idea if, you know, I have seen games where the Protoss player only warps in 3 or 4 units when they actually have 7 gateways just to fake them out. So that could have been a possibility. We know that Desrow is not on that many gateways. This is just really light pressure, and once the medevacs are out, Desrow will have to leave. Yeah,
I mean, he's going to try and blink up here to the main possibly, but that would just be suicidally insane, in my opinion.
Suicidally suicide?
He's suicidal. Yeah, nailed it. He is going to try and poke away at a bunker here, but it's not worth the Stalker cost. I do like what's coming behind this, though. He's trying to keep Major's eye in the front so he could possibly warp in the back, but this is not something I think he's going to have. He doesn't have the money to dedicate to this early. It's nice to be able to get harass him, but, you know, 4 Zealots, 5 Zealots, maybe high as 7, but that's kind of where I feel like it's going to taper out.
Desrow, not really in a hurry to get a third. It is kind of hard to get a third for any race, really, on this map. It's a little far away. I wonder if Major is going to be... I mean, pretty much we've been seeing, like, 2 Terran styles really work out, right? There's, like, Maru, who just does drops everywhere, like, and is really annoying. And there's, you know, I guess Flash, who's just, like, SCV pulling still, like, every single game. And I wonder if Major prescribes to either one, or he's going to play, like, a kind of whoops, Warp Prism.
Well, this works pretty nicely because this gets Major pushing out, but at the same time, he's going to have less to defend with at home. He's got 1 overcharge possibly available. It kind of sucks, though, because what do? You pop the overcharge at the natural, Major just picks up and drops to the main, or vice versa.
Yeah. He can't really do a... Oh, actually, clean this up. I did not
Well... He actually picked up the Zealots, though, so it's not really cleaned up, it's just stopped.
I wonder why, though. I mean, Desrow could have continued on, but I guess he was really worried about this pressure. But so many Stalkers and Colossus, Colossus and a half, I guess. Yeah, you should just continue this. You
know, when I was casting the Dragon Invitational, we got to see a lot of situations like this, too, where players like Center were hitting at this perfect timing, where Desrow doesn't have 2 Colossus out to work with, but... he's controlling this reasonably well, considering the Marauders could stem on top of it. He's actually keeping this alive a lot longer than I thought he was going to, and he's going to push Major back.
Yeah. You know, I think we have seen at least one other PVT with Major in Copa America, maybe like in the very, very beginning, because I specifically remember him like charging up a ramp into 1 Colossus or 2 Colossus and winning a fight that I just did not expect him to win. So I think that's what happened there, but Desrow's control was just, you know, better than whoever it was last time.
Well, I think one of the things is, at the very least, Major not only gets the medevacs out live, but he's kind of overproduced here a little bit on an extra round of them. So the Vikings a little bit late, that's gas that could have gone towards them, that's tech lacking at this point, because, you know, he's only just finished up 1-1. There's not 2-2 on the way. In fact, does he even have an armory? No.
So technically he doesn't need it if he's only using 1 engineering bay.
Yeah, but I meant like to go for level 2 later on, like.
Yeah, he doesn't need it yet because you started halfway with your upgrade.
Well, actually, I think one of the things I was going to lead into. Whoa, okay, this is not what I was expecting. I was going to say, you know, you use all the extra gas instead of getting level 2 upgrades to get enough Vikings to produce 4 this early to make up for that loss. But I mean, well, Ghost Academy's not bad. That's another huge gas sink, and Major, you know, he needs the gas to build the armory, much less the actual upgrades that follow it.
Yeah, I mean, producing as many Vikings as he is, 3 to 4 at a time, he is using all that gas that would otherwise be used in an upgrade in an armory. But he certainly does need it. And now would be the time where he gets an armory. So come on. Throw it down. There it goes. See, perfect timing.
This is nice though. Desrow, we talk a lot about how he tends to play into the macro game. I think one of the best things with that War Prism harass, it didn't cause a devastating amount of damage, but it did force Major to split his attention. And Major is one of those scary guys where if he's focused on one thing, he's going to get it done, whether it's base sniping, stopping Colossus, multi-dropping, whatever. But with 3 Colossus actually out, I mean, Desrow's able to take decent engagements. There's going to be a lot of Vikings, but the one thing that's kind of scary is Desrow never really heavily invested back into that stalker count. Like, he's got a couple out, and that's nice, but this is hardly going to one volley down the Vikings.
Yeah, with 4 more coming out and brings up to a total of 12, I would almost say, go for it. Pull the SCVs, or at the very least, like, sack some Vikings on your Colossus. But with the Observer, Desrow, of course, does pull back the Blink Stalkers, and suddenly that army looks a lot less, or a lot more formidable.
I mean, the army supply is lower, guys. It always looks like this generically for Protoss engagements, but it's because usually the units are a little more efficient. In this case, they're not really being that efficient, though. Does turn out the Vikings really nice and keeps 2 Colossus alive. Oh, I really want to give props to Desmond on his forceful usage so far this game, but he's got to get those Zealots involved a little bit better, as the Colossus are about to fade, and at this point, charge lots are really the only thing that might be able to connect to this army.
Yeah, it should be enough.
Last Viking,
they traded out almost exactly the Vikings for the Colossus too, so it's not like Desrow has to worry about getting more.
Desrow doing something really smart there though, as these Zealots were kind of being sacrificed to the bio. He did start focus firing down the medevacs. Didn't get enough of them though. But I still think with 1 Colossus, since this is primarily Marines, he should be good to go. Yeah,
and a couple of charge lots too. Yeah, and even he knows that was a pretty aggressive blink, but it is going to work out. The Viking count, as I said, has been reduced to 0, so if there's 12 Vikings left over after you killed all the Colossus and you don't have Storm, oh my god, are you screwed? But Major actually overproducing a little bit on the medevacs again and picks up in that oh my god, that medevac only has 1 health. Please don't do that.
Yeah, this is, well, I mean, 1 health, 4 health, it doesn't really matter. It's 1 stalker shot that's going to kill it. I don't know. Desrow, he's got a decent spread as far as vision goes because he's got some sneaky pylons, got a 4th base up, but he doesn't really have anything that's going to see this coming to the main if this hits. And hell, Major might even stop here and say, oh, you got a 4th? Okay. Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah. Desrow doing a really great job about putting proxy pylons all around the map, too, in very annoying positions. In this top right, you're not going to be able to conveniently send a couple of Marines up there.
Alright, so knocks that down. I was surprised the probe was left there, actually. Takes his own 4th while this is going on, but I mean, it's kind of scary to consider. Major got the Ghost Academy out really early. He was pumping 4 Vikings at a time, but we don't really see a lot to go for that. I mean, I would have loved to see like a little more Ghost investment, I guess. EMPs are never bad.
Oh, that's right. He did get a Ghost Academy. Yeah. Well, he scanned and saw an opportunity, and I think he was more worried about getting as many Vikings out, more so than Ghosts. But it obviously didn't work, and now he definitely needs to invest into them. Seeing the Archon, for sure, tells him that.
See, what's kind of interesting there too, I mean, I'm not trying to overly
oh, I thought those were SCVs. I guess he was just defending his 3rd from a Zealot attack.
I was gonna say, I'm not trying to like overly construct or deconstruct what Desrow's doing, but he's doing a lot of really refined things that we don't see a lot of Protoss players doing this matchup, and that is like focusing down the medevac count, which is usually pretty low leading up to this stage of the game, to go for the Vikings. But at this point, he's lost a lot of Stalkers, and he has to warp in Zealots. It's not that you can. He doesn't really have the breathing room to warp in Stalkers anymore. So these ones he's warping right now will probably be some of the last because he needs them to deal with the Vikings, but he also needs the Zealots to soak the bio.
Oh, so the Vikings found a better position outside of the cannon, and there's actually no storms. His Archon's helping out a lot, but his big concave and a lack of charge lots, Major might just be well, the Vikings are dead, so maybe not.
Marauder's gonna kick the Stalkers back, that's for sure. But there's not a whole lot left here for Major. Like this next round of Zealot Warp-ins, this is gonna be what he needs to connect to this army. Pushes it back once again. Desrow still doesn't have those upgrades though yet, just worth noting. But he is coming up on 3-3 pretty quickly, so a bit of an anti-timing in this regard. But storms do get slapped down. Major just stims away from it. It's the nice thing about Marauders; they've got a hell of a lot of HP.
Yeah, and this time some Vikings did survive, and with no more Blink Stalkers, they can camp and will camp the Colossus popping out here. And the Overcharge is also dead and gone, so he doesn't even have to attack within range of this Colossus, and he will win. GG.
A little bit hectic there for Desrow. There was a small opportunity in that fight where I thought maybe he was going to turn that around, but Major locks it down in game number 1. Oh, so we leave the game 10 seconds to level 3 with completing. That sucks. Because, I mean, Major's still going heavy on the weapon upgrade. Never had double engineering bays, didn't have those armor upgrades. Zealots were getting better and better as the upgrades went out, but... Game number 1, going to Major. We're going to hop into Catalina pretty quickly for map 2. Or maybe not. I got some sort of bug. Try it again. Alright, nailed it. Alright, so Desert played a pretty solid game there. Lots of cool things here and there, like the Warp Prism. I kind of feel like this sounds silly. Major's one of those guys who I think if Desrow hit that right timing, that sweet spot, I think DTs could get him a victory over Major pretty easily.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of counterattacking going on. Even though he had the proxy pylons, I think I only saw him use Zealots once after that Warprism.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that didn't help. I mean, he also took a really long time to go up to High Templars, which, you know, he had a lot of Colossus, which can be effective, especially if Major had made the mistake of pulling SCVs that first time. But
I don't think it was that long. Like, it wasn't that late to get Templar. I mean, usually,
what time was it? When did that game end?
I don't know, but it's usually like, you know, a good solid between 5 and 8 minutes after you got your Colossus count up to 5. I mean, he was on 4 and he's already started the Templar. So I would say it was like late, but I know what you mean. Like, he just didn't have the storms when he needed them.
I mean, it always depends on like what you're trying to do. Some people, they get a lot of Colossus and they'll go up to 5, and it's very effective against the SCV pool. And then they will go to High Templars. Some people go for, you know, just 2 Colossus in the High Templars. So it all depends on what he wanted to do, but he had 5 Colossus. He held off the attack, and then it seemed like it took forever to get up to Storm.
Mm-hmm. Well, Desrow, just taking a 1-minute break here real quick, guys. So waiting on him to get back, and I'll hop into Catalina. Yo, so what is a good way to deal with every muscle in my body aching?
I don't know, stretching.
Pretty sure the most exercise you do is like the treadmill. So when it came to doing a ton of dancing at the wedding, you know, whipping out that Carlton for all the single ladies.
Can't imagine you dancing. Oh my god.
Yo, we should go dancing, and I am. I'll take you dancing, girl.
We have to go to karaoke.
Yeah, actually we do, because we never did that on our MLG trip. But okay, guys, looks like we're about ready to go here. Desrow is back. Yeah, cool beans. All right, stick around, guys. Game number 2 coming up. If you've just tuned in, Major leads the series 1-0. Oh, there you go. So I thought we got stalled up there for a black screen for a moment, guys. So pardon my random in that intro, but welcome back. Game number 2 underway. This is a best of 7 grand finals, though, for Copa America. I'm Riffin, casting with Zombie Grub, and Spawny here on the, well, maybe a quick remake.
No.
What's that rule? Like 10 seconds and you're gone, pretty much? Like,
yeah, I feel like after the 45, you just...
yeah, somewhere around there. But no, he's actually good. Nope. Just kidding. JK, JK, LOL.
Game paused.
Yeah, let's give it a sec. Alright, Major saying go, so we are gonna go. Man, this totally like stopped the energy of my intro right there. Well, anyways, guys, it is 1-0 in the favor of Major if you're just tuning in. It's a best of 7. I want to stress that best of 7 finals. And spawning here on the left side of the map, of course, without a team, but sponsored by Asus and Corsair, it is the blue Protoss player Desrow.
In the bottom right, as the red Terran, it's Root Major.
Okay, so I think Major didn't really do anything too crazy that game. I think Desrow defended pretty well. And if you don't know a lot about StarCraft2, you can just kind of sit back and be like, wow, Terran OP. But I mean, despite the fact that Desrow was doing a lot of cool things, you know, segmenting off to specifically pick off medevac drops, do his own Warp Prism, you know, he never really did a lot of damage to Major. And I think more emphasis on that Warp Prism may have been the key to really getting him in the game, because you know, you can warp in like 20 zealots defensively and maybe take fights around your Nexus, but if you're taking like 20 zealots offensively, then Major's actually stuck at home defending. His production won't keep up, and then he can't actually attack you. I mean, I'm not saying that's exactly what would have happened. It certainly almost wouldn't have, not with the way that game had paced out. But it's the logic there that Desrow did end up playing super turtly, super defensive, and it's really hard to do against any player that's like Major, who was willing to multitask, willing to just macro like crazy, and he really didn't show any weakness when it came to the assault on Desrow.
Yeah, it was all about him. Oh, actually, getting this a lot. It was all about Major being very comfortable playing out the macro game, which a lot of Terrans aren't. They will SCV pool when they shouldn't because, well, I can't win in the late game anyways. They'll try and do, like, you know, really aggressive drops, you know, try and mar it up and then just be, well, bad at it. It won't work. So the fact that Major is so comfortable, well, it just made it obvious that he was comfortable and that he was a really good player. But I think Desrow, he could 10 seconds was upgrades and Storm.
I know, that's what kills me the most, like, because we talked about it too. He only had 1 engineering bay, right? So I mean, that level 3 weapon upgrade in Zealots was going to be huge. But this is so annoying.
This is annoying, yeah. 1 Zealot weapon last game would have been
protect me, Dad.
But yeah, I mean, Major saw this coming because he scouted with an SCV, which you should always do, I think, in TVP in case this exact thing happens, because you don't want to have your command center on low ground. You want to have a bunker up on top. Sometimes even you want to like not get the reactor to get more Marines out faster, but you know, this is gonna work out either way. Yeah,
he recognized he could walk past this. Even with the Marines out, the thing is like, they can't fight outside the bunker. You need 3 Marines to deal with the Mothership Core, much less a Mothership Core and a Stalker. So, Desrow could actually take the fight here. He is going to take that fight here. He's got to stay away from the bunker, though. He's already lost a couple of his shields.
Yeah.
And he's delaying well, he's delaying the racks actually quite a bit.
There's something to be said about putting 1 supply depot down in front. Most people tell you not to against Protoss, but just help out in situations like these. The Mothership Core, oh, it stopped focusing. Oh, he'll get both. Never mind.
Time Warp.
He'll get all
Why
3.
not a recall? That was messy out of Desrow.
It's too late. Yeah, he thought he had good position, and then that happened. Oh, you know what? I don't think he got the Reaper either. Oh, no, that's actually really big. Because Desrow's following us up the very fast Rally Council. No Nexus. This is probably for DTs. And it all depended on killing at least the Reaper with that attack. I mean, hopefully he would have killed more, but at least the Reaper.
You know, the worst thing, too, is it didn't really stall out Major's tech either. I mean, Stim's on the way. He delayed this building of this barracks, but if Desrow... And this is where kind of I feel... one of Desrow's weaknesses shows up. Like, had he gone for something like a proxy oracle, or I mean, like obviously as you pointed out, this was scouted, so that wouldn't have been the case. But you know, had he done like a proxy oracle or something instead, just Major may not have been initially prepared to deal with that. But you know, he saw the aggression coming and threw down 2 barracks immediately. But at the same time, you can argue 3 barracks is pretty standard for Terran at this point in the game, at this stage of 2014. Either way, it's Desrow going for the macro game once again. His eyes on the blink.
No,
well, actually, yeah, I was gonna say, hold up. Yeah, I just realized there's no Nexus down. I assumed, but actually, it's 1 base blink, and I don't know. He already lost the Mothership Core. I kind of feel like too much has been lost investing into this already.
I think it's actually a pretty good move had he killed the Reaper, because like Major would have just assumed that a Nexus had gone down, and that's fine. That's great. That's what Protoss does. They do little tricky things and stuff like that. I thought it was going to be DTs, honestly, with how fast the Twilight Council is. So I'm just a little surprised that it is blank stalkers, but Major sees this. He sees everything, and is gonna see like the lack of the Nexus too.
Man.
You know what though? On a we don't really usually see one base blink anymore. It's always been two base blink, so I don't know. It might be worth it for Major to actually lift his command center and just deal with it on one area. Or do this.
Stalkers. I feel like oh sorry, I don't like this map for UI. Sorry, my gritty nittiness aside, Desrow just feels like he's falling apart already at the seams. I mean, the game's not even that far in.
Yeah.
And it's almost at the point where I want to call it over.
Yeah, Desrow's all in. Looks really, really weak right now with only 5 stalkers. Even with Blink, they cannot take on this amount of units for Major, and I guess Major knew that, so he didn't even put down bunkers anywhere.
Right, and here's the problem, like that time warp needed to be used on the ramp to stall out the reinforcements, so he could use that blink on the high ground. No longer an option. GG is going to be called. Desrow gives it a shot, but it doesn't work. Major going to lead the series now 2-0. But, as stated before, it is a best of 7. For those who don't know what that means, first to 4 wins. So, 2's a good start. 2's a fantastic start, but hardly over at this point. And I totally spaced. I forgot to mention, by the way, Desrow, because we give him a shout out to his sponsors, also sponsored by Chairs for Gaming. I should know this a lot better because we, not Copa America or Blizzard or anything, but Zombie and myself on our channel at Base Street TV are sponsored by Chairs for Gaming as well. So, oops, my bad. But third map, what's this going to lead into here? King Sejong. I think this one's going to be a comfortable map for Desrow to play the macro game on compared to the last ones. I mean, there's always the potential for drops. What I really like is, like, Desrow is one of the few players who will play Phoenix versus Terran. We talked about possibly the cheesy Oracle opener, like Proxy Stargate, which we probably still won't see. But it's not as necessary on this map because the bases are already so close. If you put the Stargate in your natural, it's almost like Proxy. Like, natural to natural King Sejong, you can get an Oracle across that map really fast.
It's true. Yeah, Catalina was, and Merry-Go-Round actually, yeah. I'd say those first 2 maps were the worst for drops and getting your third. So.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the concept, like the logic of, okay, now they're out of the way, maybe this through Desrow starts playing a little bit stronger.
Maybe, maybe. I thought you said the third was. The third's Overgrowth, not King Sejong. You said that, right?
You know, you're right, you're right. Sorry, I was looking at the previous map order. I take all that back. Yeah, Overgrowth is map 3. Sorry, Deadwing's map 4. Nimbus is map 5. 6 is King Sejong, and 7's Foxtrot. I was looking at the map vetoes for Major or Cham versus Cats. I apologize for that.
Okay, so still though, I mean, it's the same. Like Overgrowth isn't nearly as bad as the first 2, so that's what was important.
Yeah.
It's,
I guess that's that same point
thing.
does carry over. Yeah.
Yeah, the proxy doesn't really carry over anymore, but. I mean, Overgrowth still has the like a problem where like the drops aren't necessarily very effective, but the distance between like your main and your third is still uncomfortably large. So, like defending both sides, that's usually what a Terran. This Terran looks at a map at like this and says, "Okay, I'll drop over here and I'll attack over here, and then I'm gonna get a third and a Nexus, like in a main Nexus too."
I feel like,
so that's a little annoying.
I feel like you need to like use your fingers and like pretend like you're marionetting the drops like on your camera. It's just like, all right, so he's gonna drop over here, and Desrow's gonna be like, let's get some like Pinocchio stuff going.
Well, everyone, I assume that most of you actually watch StarCraft more than right now, so you know what I mean.
Well, as it stands, guys, we're just waiting for Desrow to get here in the lobby, and then we'll be ready to rock and roll on Overgrowth. So if you guys missed the matches earlier today, Cats did take 3rd place in his series versus Cham. So he actually put a tweet out. I don't know if it guarantees him, but with how I guess limited I should say the seasons are, I think that does actually lock him into the yearly finals if that ends up being the case. Wait, did Desrow log off? No, he's online. I don't know what's going on here. But yeah, so this is not a best of 5 like the previous series we cast, guys. It is a best of 7. So even if Major wins this next one, it's not over.
I guess they want you to try to invite him.
Oh, Desrow, privacy stuff, please. Invite. So I guess they don't know. For those, I guess to spread the knowledge here, If you try to invite somebody, it says you must invite that player to a party before you invite them to the game. It just means that they've got privacy settings on, so like, you know, not anybody can message them or invite them. Like, you can't send devs or a PM unless you're on your buddy list and stuff, so that's why they can't invite them to the game. Desrow, turn off your privacy junk. I'm like, just spamming buddy here. I think this was waiting to like real ID off Cammy. Nailed it. There we go. Alright, so let's give Coulter back hosts, because this is too much responsibility for me to deal with. For those who don't know what the privacy settings are referred to, by the way, is it's pretty much just an option in the social tab where you just check off a box. It's like only friends can send me messages, only friends can send me invites. Because people will spam you, not even like with ill intention, but like you'll just have people message you, and when you're playing a game, like you don't want to be reading something about, I don't know, Quebec politics or something. You want to just be focused on the game, right? And Desrow's down to 2 points at this stage, so. Anyways, Overgrowth map number 3 starting up right now. Actually, there we go. See you guys here in a sec. Alright, we'll go back, guys. This little sad face you see out of Desert real quick. Just he asked Major if Major had ever been to Peru, and Major not gonna fall for the Bronze League tactics, Desert. He's just gonna play the game, and this is why, well, why so good? Oh, I actually have to update the score. It is, of course, 2-0. If you guys are just joining us here on the cast, it's a best of 7, and let's hop into these intros. Spotted here in the top right corner of Overgrowth. From Root Gaming, it's gonna be Season 1 Copa America champion himself. The heavyweight defender, if you will, the Red Terran Major.
In the bottom left is the blue Protoss. It is Desrow.
And Desrow, of course, doesn't have a team, but he is sponsored by Combination Asus, Corsair, and Chairs for Gaming. A little bit of extra love goes out to Chairs for Gaming, because they also support Zombie Grub and myself. But as far as the series goes, as far as the way things dictate, I don't know. I mean, I want to see Desrow get aggressive, but I don't want to see him do weird, awkward all-ins he's not comfortable with. I mean, that Blink last game, I don't know. I don't know, Zombie Grub. I don't think it was a bad choice, but if he had planned to do that and still lost that Mothership core, then I think it's a horrible choice.
It just looked really, really weak in general. If you really think about the plan in like, just hypothetical terms, it sounds like a great plan. You know, you pile on the pressure with Zealot, Stalker, Mothership, and a lot of the times Terrans are thrown off by that. If they don't scout it, or even if they do scout it, they mess up and they let the Stalker through.
Yeah.
They take a bunch of damage because they pull SCVs, they take a lot of Marine damage, so their armies cut drastically, and then you follow up with some type of attack or a cheese, you know, DTs, Oracle, or a 4-gate Blink, and they lost their Reapers, they don't have any scouting, they assume they're going to normal, and they already lost a bunch of other stuff from it. It sounds like a good plan, like one bam, bam, bam. But that last, like, nothing happened with the solid Stalker attack, and then Major's army was, like, pretty big, I don't know.
I like how you could have said that like a question, but it's like, no, nothing did happen. It got shut down so easily.
Well, did it actually kill anything?
I think it got like I think it got like an SCV or 2 out of it, but yeah, it was a lot of focus on that Reaper that kept going back into the bunker, which kind of sucked. But, you know, we were talking a little bit too. Desrow, it kind of sucks. Like, he's a man of many playstyles versus Terran. I've seen him go for the old school charge lap storms. I've seen him do the standard Colossus. We've already seen that today, actually. Blink All-In's obviously not executed so well, but I'm really thinking, like, if you want to get under major skin, either DTs or Oracles are going to be the way to do it.
I was also thinking, Major has been going 3 racks every single game so far, I believe. And he went the same thing last game, too. Desrow just, you know, stopped the third one for a little while. But considering Desrow scouted that and yet still went for a Blink All-In, that's just extra weird to me.
Yeah, extra questionable.
It's actually like it's not exactly a hard counter, but it's a very good build to have against a Blink All-In. That's actually why a lot of Terrans started doing it when Blink All-In was like the one thing to do. So
well, this also covered that, but also the Oracle having the production to deal with it.
So I don't know.
I mean, the thing for Major too, one of the classic Terran moments of the game too is like when you do move out with everything, you've got nothing left at home, and unlike Protoss, you don't have like a recall or anything. So that's kind of a game where I feel like the Oracle will come into strength, or like the DTs, because they hit at that later timing after Major's left the base, rather than necessarily super duper rushing Chrono Boost one out. But as far as Desrow's concerned, he has opened this with what is a pretty standard opening towards Colossus.
Yeah. Well, the first game he did get Blink before anything else. I mean, it works out fine, you know, okay. It's just a different variation. I think he will eventually get Blink. Charge Archon openers are just a thing of the past. I don't think I've seen it in a couple of months now, except when I do it, because that's the only build I have copied down, so me Chobo.
I got that on lockdown.
Yeah, it's actually legit, and, you know, does it really matter until you're Grandmaster? It's all about the macro until then anyways. Whatever. These guys are, so obviously it is a big deal that Desrow does not go for what would be called an inferior composition at this point in the metagame.
Well, this is a bit awkward for Desrow. I do like that he started kiting a little bit early, get a little bit of poke off.
Major doing that exact same thing with the Reaper, try and get some scouting. This time it works really, really well. Really well.
Scouting for the Reaper is nice, but this is also a situation too, if you're busy fighting at the front, usually you forget about the Reaper. We'll sometimes see this guy get like 3 or 4 probe kills behind this.
Yeah. I thought the Stalkers were going to be out of position and Major would have sacked his units on the mineral line, but it did not happen, so it wasn't that bad. The important thing is that Major did get the scout. So we saw 3 gateways, which, you know, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but there is such a thing as 3-gate pressure that can deal a surprising amount of damage if you don't have a bunker. Not going to be the case here, because he had 3 racks boosting this entire time, and the Observer did see that.
I mean, the nice thing for Desrow is he did get a snipe on the Reaper. I like that he's got the Sentries garnering energy here too. One of the big things that we saw him use really nicely on merry-go-round was his force fields, but you know, once his force fields ran out, we also saw him kind of lose the momentum shift. Tally counts on the way for Blink, of course. You're going to want this to deal with those Vikings, but I kind of feel like for Desrow, we didn't see a lot of Chrono focused on it, but I think those upgrades, and this is where it comes down to, like, it was so close to being finished. Like, maybe if you had thrown in 1 extra Chrono earlier on instead of probes or instead of a Zealot or something, I mean, I really want to see him get those upgrades going. You know, if you go double forge as Protoss, there's really not a lot of Terran player can do to punish you for this, and if you can get those level 3 upgrades out fast, you're going to have no problem sailing into that late game.
Yeah. Well, it's more like they shouldn't have a problem going forward against Terran, but there are some Terrans that, you know, do find just the right amount to punish something like this. Now, usually it's the case that, well...
Ooh, nice force field's gonna lock this in.
Maybe not the nicest, because he just comes in and kills everything.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like, they started off pretty good because they got some kills, but then it's just like, okay, well, I'll just fight then. I was a little bit worried he's gonna try and run past that ramp. I mean, there's a lot of units here to body block, so I don't think it was gonna happen in the first place. But for Desrow, you know, normally you look at this, you're like, okay, I got a couple kills, great. Maybe he doesn't have a whole lot for round 2, and I mean, there's a fair amount here for round 2, but the difference is, you know, Major, for a point, will be able to use Marauders versus Colossus, but as soon as Desrow gets that extended Thermal Lance, that really taps out timing-wise. Is he gonna push? Ooh, I don't know about this.
I don't think he should. You don't typically go double forge to do a Colossus solid.
Exactly. I mean, if he's poking and looking for a couple free kills, climbing the Watchtower, okay, cool, but, I mean, this is... We're noting a timing before Vikings are going to be out, so maybe he feels really confident in his force fields.
That's still too dangerous.
Yeah, I like this coming back home. I mean, I was trying to justify like why you would possibly move out further, but decides to just take the Watchtower, comes back. Major also now starting those Vikings that we just mentioned a moment ago, so getting his production up really nicely at home. Doesn't feel pressured to take those extra 2 this early. This is worth noting in one of the, was it game 1 or game 2? He threw it on that, Catalina, right? He threw it on the second,
No, Catalina was,
yeah, it's merry-go-round. He threw it on the second starport really quick. Sorry, 3-player maps.
Yeah, I know, right? They're all the same, really. It's important to note that unlike that first game, Desrow's not going to go for like this mass Colossus style, you know, relying on just the sheer damage output of 5 Colossus, even if they do die. He's actually going to go up to charge really, really fast. Well, actually, I think he got charged at an okay time first game, too. It just took Storm a while to come down.
Yeah, it was Storm this late. What I do like about the force fields, though, that's going to be really interesting coming into this, is the medevacs can obviously dive forward and pick up the marauders and boost away, but Desrow's actually going to possibly be able to snipe those. And if he does, it's way better to kill a medevac with units in it on retreat than just picking up a medevac naked.
Yeah. Surprisingly, Desrow does not have a lot of observers on this field. Usually Overgrowth is really good to have 3 because the position is so obvious. You put 1 off to the left, protecting your main from drops, and then 1 over to the 3rd where this probe is, protecting your 3rd obviously, and then 1 with your army. And you're covered pretty much all your bases, but with only 1, Major could actually do a lot of drops and probably do a lot of damage.
Well, you know, it's interesting because you bring up the observer fact, but Major is one of those players that does snipe observers a lot. I'm not saying that's why Desrow isn't making them. Like, it's not like he's scared to. It's still good to have them, but he has been putting a lot of production into those Colossus. It's not the fastest Colossus in the world, and it's not, you know, 7 or 8 of them, but you don't get any breathing room here. It's kind of the same logic with medevacs, right? Like, once you start producing Vikings, you don't get to make medevacs. Same kind of goes for the observers.
That's true. That is true. And Major really hasn't been very, like, drop heavy so far, so maybe Desrow feels he's okay. And so far he is. Major's going for the frontal attack again. There's only, I mean, how many Colossus? There's only 2 Colossus. It's not a lot. Not there's a lot of Vikings, but just that there's a lot of bio.
Goes for Guardian Shields here. No priority on the Force Shields, which does cost the Stalkers as the Marauders just move on the left. This Colossus. No. Oh, that's going to sting. Loses all of the Colossus at this point, but he should be able to clean this up with some more charge lots, I think. Worst case scenario.
Yeah, but it's so... That went really bad. That was, like, actually, I think the worst that could have happened, because ideally what Desrow was trying to, like, do is have his Blink Stalkers able to get pot shots at Vikings before the Vikings reach the Colossus that were behind his mineral line.
Exactly.
But there was, like, this awkward moment where I literally saw Blink Stalkers have to walk a good 5 seconds.
Yeah, from the left.
They even shot anything.
Yeah, from the left to the right.
Like, that's weird. That was awkward, so... Yeah,
I didn't check. I was wondering if Blink was on cooldown, but I figured I wasn't going to bring it up in case I was just being a total dummy. But... No, I saw exactly the thing you were talking about. That one moment where I was like, gah. But scanning forward here, Major sees Desrow really doesn't have anything to defend with. Maybe there's the chance there's a Colossus in the mineral line, but it's going to be 1, if anything. Because he knows he already killed off that retreating one. Zealots are going to charge forward here, looking pretty strong. Desrow, of course, on 2-2 upgrades, but Major coming up on 2-2. What I do like, though, is that level 3 armor. If that finishes up soon, these Zealots are going to be so efficient versus the Marines, but... Mothership Core does go down, so no more time warps, no more photon overcharges or anything of that nature. But Storm does complete, and he gets a couple good hits.
Couple, but now Desrow has the problem where he doesn't have any splash anymore. No Colossus. The Vikings finally die, but still no Colossus.
He's got the momentum to push this back. I don't think he's in a good spot by any means at the end of this, but still pushes it back. For those who don't know why this works, and you're wondering like why you don't see it more, you throw in a Storm, it's never really going to kill a lot of bio as long as the Terran player's paying attention. They'll stim out of it, right? But they're usually low enough that a charge lock can one-shot them. And that's kind of the way you want to mix it in, so to speak. The downside, though, is this is something that was heavily countered by Widowmines, to the point where you just don't see the strategy anymore. And that was only because you didn't really have the production to deal with that Zealot army. Now Major's in the late game, the Zealots are coming out now, 3-3's on the way, but he's got more than enough and doesn't have to rely on Widow Mines. And quite frankly, he'll probably have Ghosts coming out in the next 5 minutes at the latest.
Yeah. I mean, usually by this time, if they go Colossus first, they're still going to have Colossus deal with the Widow Mines, and that's why you don't see them that often. But funnily enough, the fact that there are no Colossus anymore, and Desrow's not even starting anymore. Oh, finally, there he goes. Widow Mines actually might have been effective, but
I kind of wish he wouldn't even make one. There's so many Vikings already they've gone through this game, but he's also producing more right now. It's, I don't know.
Yeah, it's gonna take so long to get back to a decent count because Major producing 4 Vikings at a time, and you need like, what is it, 6 to 8 to each no, wait.
Well, it depends
Yeah.
if you EMP them, of course, too, right? Like you can take those shields
Yeah,
off
that's
right
true
away.
too. I think it's actually 4 to 6 for each Colossus.
Oh,
So
drop here at the bottom right. Gonna get pushed back.
not the greatest, but he's the Doom drop in the main. This is exactly what I'm talking about, by the way.
Oh,
You
there's
attack
no
over here,
recall
you attack
potential.
over here.
No recall potential. Force warp and only Zealots to deal with this, and it's only like 2 or 3 at a time. This Colossus, no.
Oh, Colossus, no.
You need to get
Bad
away.
idea. Oh, it's doing a surprisingly good job, and in fact, not really focusing down the Colossus den instead.
Not a bad choice. Drop at the third while this going on too. There's a cannon to defend though, so it's not the craziest thing in the world. But Desrow needs to deal with this, and it takes so long for his army to get back here.
They took a break at the natural. They're like,
We're tired.
Colossus got this one.
Deep breaths.
Yeah, you know, I thought that was a bigger drop than it was. I mean, 4 medevacs usually looks like a really big army, but that
Yeah, I think only 3 were full, something like
okay, yeah, that does make sense. But that was actually a pretty good defense from Desrow.
Right, this is kind of Desrow's window in the game right now, though. He doesn't have a massive army supply, which really sucks, but his upgrades are phenomenal. Major's on 2-2, was Desrow's just finished up his 3-3. These Zealots are going to tear through everything and anything that Major has waiting on the ground.
How many High Templars does Desrow have? Or rather, how many does he have with Storm, is the question. Oh, actually, 4. No, 2. 2 with 2 Storms, and then just 1 single Colossus. So, in other words, not a whole lot of splash.
But you kind of look at what's here, you don't really need a whole lot. A lot of this has been invested to the Ghosts and such, and I mean, we see a lot of Ghost-heavy, Viking-heavy compositions in the past, and what's always really funny is Blink Stalkers actually beat those out really nicely in the late game, but Desrow's going to probably have to cancel his 4th, and we really wish he hadn't made those simulators.
Uses of simulators.
He never remade the Mothership Core, huh? That sucks. Time Warp would be phenomenal, especially when you're pairing it up with the Storms.
Wow, those ghosts didn't even die. I'm so used to hearing the EMP sound and then the death sound.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, the Storms are actually getting some pretty decent connects here. Hardly something that's going to devastate Major, but these EMPs are just wrecking the army. I like the Immortals here, going to be really good for dealing with those Marauders. He's going to push in really heavy. He's got to be careful of these medevacs, though, because a Blink Fort out of Desrow might pick off a couple of these if not careful.
That one Marine got healed. Thank you. Okay.
Oh, he's some
the
Vikings.
Vikings. Oh, wow. That actually
This is huge.
Super good.
He can blink again? I'd say blink
Right,
again, do
Desrow.
it.
Yeah.
Now he can start...
Desrow...
Well, I was going to say, you can start Colossus again, which is kind of key. He's not really been able to go Colossus heavy because the Viking count's been out of hand. This stage of the game, Terror players aren't usually thinking about producing 4 Vikings at a time anymore. You haven't seen Colossus for 3 different attacks. So now it's like, okay, focus on the Templar. Ghosts, Marines, Marauders.
He just loaded SCVs in his medevac? Oh, that must have been a miss rally.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
Funny.
It's really annoying, too, because it like wrecks all the other rallies, too. Like when the medevac picks up the unit you rally to.
Yeah. You know... you know how like pro gamers when they pick up a drop and then they immediately send the actual full medevac off, and it looks so clean. When usually like when
the
we
hot
do it,
pickups.
we're trying to like segment off the one medevac that is actually full while we hotkey the rest of our army, and it looks awkward. We asked Paul how he did that, and he was just like, "Oh, you sent all the medevacs to go," and then like, oh wait, shit. Actually, well, let me hold on. Let me hold off on that for a second.
Okay. Once
Yeah,
again,
because I
thank
can't
you.
actually remember how he did it now. I'm like,
Oh.
darn it. I just
Well.
learned how to do it and it was so simple and now I can't remember.
As always, Namago, thank you for joining me here on the cast tonight.
Dude,
Medevacs for free at the very
this
least could be really good. He's not paying attention though, so this kind of sucks. There could have been at least 2 out of those 3 going down very quickly. It's worth noting Major has closed that upgrade gap at this point, so now in 3-3 himself. The Immortals are still going to be really efficient as the army continues to fight here, but Major is pushing on the left and Desrow is completely on the right side of the map with no Mothership Core, no recall capabilities.
Maybe a storm? Yeah, you had one storm. Oh, really nice dodge on Major.
That's like magnets repulsing each other right there.
Oh, that's the second Robo, so there's another one that's producing Colossus.
But that was about to pop, but that really sucks losing that, I guess. Another storm does go down, top of the army. Will lose some of the Marines here, but I mean, Desrow's still here on the right side of the map, expecting another big attack. There is a small poke coming, but he is struggling to deal with this.
A little. It's enough from Rogers to take down the Colossus, and that
Yep.
Colossus will go down, and even a little bit of spreading going down.
Man,
but the main attack went well for Desrow.
Can we take a moment to talk about how Marauders have like these weapons that can just absolutely shred something in Colossus down, but Zealots are like, oh, nope, hit me in the head, not a big deal. Oh, hit me in the shoulder, I'm still coming. Like, Marauder damage, man.
Rubber bullets against Zealots. like,
we gotta save the good stuff for the real units.
Yeah, pretty much, right? Major's army looks so small for being maxed out.
But it's because there's so many ghosts in it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Lots of Vikings too. Immortals here on the right side. Hardened Shield stripped away immediately. That was a pretty good EMP. Desrow getting a couple of storms up here on the south side. These Vikings are finding themselves to be a little bit useless at the moment, but with all these EMPs going down, he's just in full retreat. Lots of stalls coming. He's going to fight by the pylon, but this is kind of one of Desrow's like defining moments of the game. Look how many EMPs there are.
I know, like he has the perfect army composition against what is a mortal zealot Archon. Like if this was mono battles, this team would totally win.
It's really silly to say, but I gotta think if Desrow just went like almost, I'd say pure stalker with storms at this point, I think you'd win. Because ghosts are horrible against stalkers, guys. Like you have no idea. All he's gotta do is focus fire like 5 marauders, then you're like auto wins.
There's so many useless Vikings in the air, but like...
I don't know about those feedbacks either. I mean, I just don't see a lot of good storms connecting to this. Archons are awkwardly in the back. You point out the Vikings kind of doing nothing, but Desrow doesn't really have a lot to fight with here. Major looks like he's about to close out game at number 3, guys.
Yeah, GG. GG's one win away from winning Copa America Season 2, as he's won the last 2. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a scary spot for Desrow to be in. He's come this far. Here he is in the finals. I'm sure he did his homework leading into this, and he's one game away from losing it all.
Like, how much homework is it really, though? He's been playing completely standard. His other option is to go for faster medevacs, I guess, instead of a 3 racks, but...
I don't disagree. I think the one thing if Desrow would really trained like some sort of regiment was like maybe practice his cheese, right?
Oh, I thought you were talking about Major. I'm sorry. Like,
no. Why would Major? I guarantee you, Major came into this. He's like, whatever. I woke up. Let's play. Like,
okay.
Major doesn't. He's like, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, it's just so weird because like the preparation that Desrow did for Cats looked fantastic, and you would think the same would happen here, but instead. I don't know. Maybe it's like a problem that since Terrans can't really do anything like different themselves, that you can't really find a hard counter to them either. Oh.
Well, either way, we're getting an invite here to what looks to be Deadwing for map number 4, guys. This could all end right now, or maybe Desrow brings it back. Yeah.
By the way, I remembered. Okay, so for the medevacs guys.
Oh my God, really?
Dude, it's like a really useful tip. Shut up. You ever play Terran and like had like really like a tough time getting your drop to get away from all the other medevacs that you have? Tell me you haven't. Okay.
No, you're telling the story. I'm just listening.
Lie to me. Okay. You actually just like select all your medevacs and tell them to like press D and drop somewhere, and the ones that actually have stuff will go and drop. So that gets them out of your medevac cloud, so you can actually hotkey them correctly. It's so awkward otherwise, and I don't know. It looked miraculous when they did it, and then they Holt said that, and it was like, oh, that seems really, really easy. I don't know why I never thought about it.
Yo, it's funny too. There's some things with StarCraft 2, like I mean, even shift queuing drops and stuff. So like, like you drop and still heal at the same time.
I remember watching. It might have been Destiny, or maybe not. Maybe it was for strategy, but they were like doing Overlord drops. And they're like, the way that you get drop and keep moving is you press D on the Overlord. And I was like...
Yeah, that moment where you're like, everything changes. It's more important for medevacs, I feel, than like Overlords, though, because for medevacs, you actually keep healing while moving, instead of just dropping.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was Zerg back then, so...
No, you're scumbag.
Who cares about Zerg? Shut up, man. That medevac thing was cool.
It was. I'm not disagreeing. But we are in the lobby, guys. And Deadwing looks to be the map. Alright, GG, good luck. Major calls it. We're starting the game. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a sec. All right, welcome back to game number 4. This is possibly the last map, guys. Major with a 3-0 lead in this best of 7. If he wins this one, he locks it down, and he's going to be the Season 2 Copa champion. This is worth noting. Desrow, I mean, second place is hardly a shame, but of course, he's a competitor. He wants to be first, and we'll see which of these guys takes this series. Bottom right corner of the map, he's red, he's Terran, comes from Root Gaming. Give it up for Major.
Top right as the blue Protoss, it's Desrow.
Yeah, sponsored by Asus, Corsair, and Chairs for Gaming. But here's something I want to talk about a little bit. You know, we talk about how Major's kind of not really doing anything crazy. You know, he's kind of playing standard. He's, you know, 3 racks every game, all game. There's another player who's really good at StarCraft 2 that I wouldn't say is notorious for playing standard, but plays a good standard game, and that's Bomber. And back in DreamHack, we actually watched MC knock out Bomber through a lot of cheese. And I kind of feel like maybe had Desrow had access to those replays or those VODs or something, maybe it's something we would have seen him try to adapt. But one of the things I really liked, and I don't know if we'll see this, and I bring it up because Desrow was tweeting a little bit before the game, like, all right, bros, you know, those of you who support me, give me some strats. What I do, Void Rays, question mark, or something to that extent. And this brings me back to when MC played against Bomber in DreamHack Valencia, because MC did like a proxy Oracle that started. You know, Oracle didn't really do a lot, but he followed it up with another Oracle, and then Void Rays, and that's when things got hairy. And I don't know that Desrow's really practiced a style like that, but that would definitely be something to have, like, I think good to have in your back pocket for situations like this, where you can't take Major out in that macro game, where he's just a little too hard to beat.
Yeah. What do you think is any good Terran has to have a 2x in their back pocket? A Protoss has to have some type of cheese in their back pocket. And the difference is that Protoss have a lot of different cheeses and all-ins that they can put back there. So you'd expect Desrow to just throw out one that was effective. The Blink Stalker all on one base, that's just it's
messy.
weird.
It's hard to talk about that one though because of the way he lost a lot going into that.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
so let's
like one base Blink Stalker where he doesn't lose all his units. Maybe he actually wins that game. Who knows? It's too hard to tell.
Question mark?
Yeah.
But then, like, you know, Major's been really diligent with his scouting, so I don't know if that would ever actually work. But, you know,
Yeah.
something else, you know, that is a lot harder to scout, or something that is a fake that also, like, kind of depends on them scouting it, you know, so they think wrong. You know, like the drone scout when Cats actually takes a natural and think they don't.
Yeah. Well, I think the other thing, too, is, like, we saw War Prism get some pretty good use, but never really consolidated, never really used more than, like, one warp in. I think a War Prism wouldn't be too bad of an idea to include into this too, but it's not for us to decide. It's about how Desrow goes into this, and this is kind of what we're talking about though. It's like the opposite of Stardust, right? Like Desrow is full of a lot of macro. We saw him. I mean, well, you saw him. I didn't get to watch the series, but he 3-1 Huck. You know, he made Cats look so easy. I mean, it just seems to be Terran's his mental block. Maybe it's not even Terran. Maybe it's just Major though. I mean, once again, this is one of the best foreign players, guys. One of the best foreign Terran players in the world.
Yeah. Now, Major did just lose that Reaper, which is something that has not happened. He's always been able to get some type of scout with the little Marine Marauder push out, or just in general. So that's pretty big. I mean, now if he were to do something weird, that would work out, because it would not be scouted, but it looks like he's not going to as he throws in a Robo. He just still have a proxy, though, so it could be... I mean, I always hate this, right? Because I've always said that the Terrans, when they scout a Robo, they assume that it's going to be Colossus, you know, like a Forge is down, a Twilight Council's down somewhere else. Going into Blink or something, but it could always, like, it could actually be a Stargate somewhere, or DTs somewhere, you know, and then the Warp is going to come out, not a Colossus, and it's actually a Stargate.
Yeah. If this was back at home, this is where I start talking about how Desrow is possibly doing Phoenix Colossus, but Major's looking around for typical proxy locations. This one's so far away, you can make the argument, like, why not just do this from your base? The only advantage it gets from the bottom left like this is the actual angle of attack. So rather than coming in through Major's main and all this dead space that gives Major time to react, this was actually going to be right on top of the natural. But Major is going to scout this, and this is...
Oh my god.
No! Oh, no! He's not going to scout this! Oh, Major!
Oh my god.
What a... You just have to go like a couple more pixels. Look at this. I'm sorry, guys. You have like epilepsy. I do apologize. But like, look at the flashing of this. Like, this is so close.
Well, that's super annoying. And Major scanned the main, so he saw a Robo, and he's thinking, okay, this looks pretty identical to the last couple of games where you macroed, so I have no problem. He actually sends all of his Marines out too.
I like this. So this is what I was talking about. Like, this is Major, you know, he leaves the base with all his forces, goes for an attack, photon overcharge, whatever. he doesn't need things at home normally, because there's no way Zealots or Stalkers are counterattacking through this. So not seeing the Stargate, not knowing the Oracle's coming, this natural base is going to lose every SCV it has.
Yeah, yo, it's important to note
Oh, he's
that
banking them up too.
The last finals, Cats did win at least one game before going down 4-1, and I was actually going to be like, I think Desrow's going to win this one and just keep with the tradition.
Yeah, well, you know what? With the way this is opening, I really like that he's banking up the Oracles. Because a lot of the times it's like, okay, yeah, like one, you pull away from it, but with 2 Oracles, you kill things so... Like, if you think 1 Oracle, if you're a Terran player, you've been on the other end of this, if you think 1 Oracle's bad, oh, 2 is... Ugh.
Yeah. Major has had some time to bank up his own Marines, but it's just not enough, and in fact, he's supply blocked too, so like one isn't even producing.
Desrow,
oh,
he popped that way too early. He should have been like on top of the SCVs before going into this, but he's got to pull that first one back. It's barely going to get away. This other Oracle will actually kill all the Marines. Really nicely done here. So 1 Oracle can kill the natural, 1 goes perhaps to the main.
But at Desrow's home, oh man, the Militia Core did go down, and he's just going to run past the overcharge, and the Zealots are actually able to clean it up. So
well,
it's not that,
Stim though, he can kite for a little bit. I mean, he's going to go for probe kills, right? I mean...
Yeah, oh, the Oracle's still dealing so much damage. Oh.
Okay, so both players lost quite a bit to this. I'd say Desrow definitely came out a little bit ahead in this regard. Because he's got the Colossus follow-up, too, which is nice. He kept the 2 Oracles alive, so there's Revelation possibilities later on. I would love if he didn't just leave them here in range of Desrow, or Major, though.
It's so silly to think that they like just traded armies, right? Like Major and Desrow are back down to 0. But yeah, Desrow did get 11 kills, SCV kills, compared to Major's 5. Oh, who's that Oracle?
It does keep one alive, though. Revelation's going to be a big deal. If you guys think Oracles, or sorry, not Oracles, Observers are pretty good at scouting, it's a million times more efficient just to throw a Revelation down on the medevacs. Who cares about the Marines? If you know where those medevacs are, you know where the army's going to be.
Yeah, so it is. I mean, losing one kind of hurts, but what were you really going to do with the other one? Well, maybe come in later if they didn't build turrets, but you're going to assume that the Terran's going to build turrets. So this is actually going to scout, even without Revelation, the medevacs.
I was going to be careful.
Oh, it's so fast. Look at it.
You know what? I think they need another speed boost.
I mean, really, if we have not complained about it in 5 months, Blizzard probably will give them a speed boost.
Actually, it is weird though. Like it was one of the most unnecessary changes that did, I think, overly compliment the unit, but it's also one that never really broke the game outright.
It's like no one says anything about this unit. Buff it. So Warp Prisms, Oracles.
Yeah, Warp Prisms getting a speed boost was, I think, necessary. We didn't really see a lot of them used before, but hang on. All that balance stock aside, we do have an army of Marines walking into Colossus. This is not going to work.
Oh dear, no. Even if there was like Marauders in that was still a really big army, and Major probably feeling pretty terrible about this. I mean, that's actually an all-in. He has 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a 2 base Colossus all-in, and Desrow I think is gonna win with it. Major's just not prepared.
You are not prepared. I like that actually. The probe from the.
I was gonna start singing "Be Prepared."
Oh well, I was. Whatever. I think you're right. He's got a pretty good chance to take us down. Vikings are being produced, but it's hardly that 4 at a time. He doesn't have the count he needs. Bunkers are way too late to the party. Major, he might pull some SCVs, but even if he does, I don't think that's going to cut it.
No, looks like there's a drop of the natural, but it just you
not
need
gonna do
the
no
bunkers
damage.
and the Vikings and this drop to do anything.
Yeah, SCVs are getting force-fitted out of here too. This is really nasty. Last couple Vikings are going to fall on the Stalkers. Well, they're doing what they can to buffer, but it's SCVs. Like, what are you really afraid of, right?
Yeah. No,
3
it's gonna be a
Colossus
win
now.
for Desrow.
Desrow.
Bringing it back.
That's what I'm saying though. Needs to start incorporating the Oracle usage. Start using some of the stuff that people cry about most when fighting Protoss. I mean, like, you got to play the other side of the coin just so you can see what's the most abusive, I think. If you're a Protoss player, maybe you don't think Oracles are that bad. But if you're a Terran player, you're like, no, these things are the scourge of the universe. This drop in the main, by the way, still getting quite a bit done. I thought it was going to get cleaned up with the Zealots earlier, but sadly it was not quite the case. So Desrow is going to warp in some Stalkers to take out that medevac, which is what's keeping us alive.
Yeah, this is GG Major. It's fine though, because you're still up by 2.
Well, I mean, right now he's up by 3, but yeah, soon to be up by only 2. Last SCV pull coming into this. Desrow played this game pretty well. I don't think this game did really map abuse. We didn't really see him, using that 3rd or anything like that. Major just getting Colossus on right now.
Is he gonna kill the Colossus?
With a missile turret.
Turret the hero!
But it
Whoa.
doesn't really matter. He's got no SCVs to work
Major
with
just
behind us.
cleaned up that army.
Yeah, but
the
it's
drop is still going, or it was still going, I should say.
But Zombie Girl, let's be honest. Mules are cool, but he doesn't have a third CC, and he's down to 7 SCVs.
I love that he's still producing from a lot of Raxus for only being on 7 SCVs.
Well, that's the bank dissipating, right? Desrow, you know, he could have lost more. He did pull. It's worth noting this looked empty earlier, guys, but he pulled the probes from the main to the natural to get them alive through that overcharge. So, I mean, this secondary force, I don't think Major's going to be able to deal with. That was a really cool Hail Mary pass, cleaning that up at the cost of his workers, but...
Oh, goes for the base trade. This would be so funny if it turns into a tie. Because you can tie in this map. There's space for the command center. Unlike Frost.
Well,
Am I right? Am I right?
that's debatable. Because didn't someone like argue you could put a...
Oh, that's
one
right. Well,
spot?
it depends on what building you have in what position.
Yeah, the barracks and the command center need to be swapped or something. But okay, gonna try and do what he can here to hold on. Major, can he do it? There's 2 mules looking to buffer for this army. 4 Marines is a lot of DPS, and the question must be asked. No, never mind. Obviously faking up that hype. GG, guys. Major will fall and will not 4-0 Desrow, and Desrow will start bringing this back. It was really nice too. So, I mean, that SCV. Can we just talk about for a moment how I think that SCV scout like kind of cost Major the game? Like, had he seen that coming, I guarantee you there probably would have been a turret down. There would have been no way the Oracles deal that much damage and would not have distracted him for the follow-up. Because when you're a Terran player, guys, when you see an Oracle, it's like you put blinders on to everything else in the world. You're like, Colossus? No, wait, no, we gotta do the Oracles first. Dark Templar? Nah, we gotta deal with these Oracles first. Like, you just... the worst feeling trying to deal with that. But 3-1 is the score if you're just joining us, so we're gonna hop into map number 5. It is going to be on Nimbus next. I don't know. This is another map where maybe he can sneak in a Stargate, but it's kind of... I feel versus a player like Major, it's like a one-trick, like, you know, fool me once, shame on me type thing.
He's going to make sure to put that SCV like the extra 5 steps ahead this time.
Yeah.
That was so frustrating.
I still feel very strongly that SCVs should be able to jump up cliffs like Reapers. I mean, what's the point of having
like,
the little jets on the back?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Would that even make them OP? Like, would that break the game?
Yeah, because it gets scout like Reapers.
Actually, no, you're that, and you can, like, proxy some weird factories and stuff. Like, jump up the cliffs.
You can lift a factory anyway, so it actually wouldn't break that.
Yeah, but like that 10 seconds of time, I've seen that be the difference of a Widowmine actually getting out or not.
I guess that's true.
But anyways, Nimbus for map number 5, guys.
You know what? You know what? It would only be fair for that year plus that if you didn't scout that probe, stay in your base, a Proxicon or get killed you.
Yeah.
Like, it's only fair that we get a time for that.
We need to find someone who's good at making maps and make our own custom league. Like, you know, there's like the Imba League Husky does. It'd be like the Rifkin Zombie Grub League, where all these stupid balance changes that we always talk about, like, get implemented.
Oh, that sounds amazing. I don't know, like, we need to get on that. That and the Forceful Ninja.
Yeah, Forceful Ninja that app.
One day.
I mean, that would be good. That would be good. Is we have a desert ready up here, guys? Someone's saying my camera looks so weird today. Yeah, the white balance is probably messed up. I don't know. I had to screw with this when we did the Dragon Invitational because I had no light in my room. Can I fix this? Advanced settings? Nailed it. Look at that. Oh my god, color comes rushing back to my face. Holy cow. It's like a painting getting filled in with color. Who is this? At what cost? Chad? Oh my god, did Minigun like totally rip off one of our emoticons? Do you see that?
I don't actually.
Oh. Well, you know, we've got the butt app. Oh, whatever, anyways, we'll talk about that later. Count has begun. The map intro is coming up. Nimbus, guys. We will see you in a sec. Alright, welcome back, guys. This is not the end of the series, but still possibly could be. It's a best of 7, and Major leads 3-1. 1 game away from victory. You know, someone kind of trolled chat earlier saying, oh, this is actually a replay, guys. They played this out yesterday, and Desrow pulls off the reverse all kill. But maybe it happens. I don't know. I saw some pretty good potential with that game, and you could argue a lot of it was Major's fault more so than Desrow getting ahead. But, I mean, either way, that got played out very nicely by Desrow. And speaking of Desrow, spawning here in the bottom right corner of the map, it is the blue Protoss player without a team, but sponsored by lovely people such as Asus, Corsair, and Chairs for Gaming, Desrow.
And up left as the Red Terran, it's Root Major.
So we're talking a little bit about the emoticon theft, the intellectual property damage. You know what's always best about ours, though? I don't know if you've ever looked at this. Some people do versus don't know it. If you like zoom in on the S, it's actually like a $sign. So
I think I did know that because you told me when you made it, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
forgot. So thanks.
I can't wait for our new emoticon to go through, by the way. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
That's gonna
well,
be really good for when we're casting Copa too, because we slip up on Copa quite a bit with
yeah.
fricks and shoots and darns.
I feel like, you know, I don't know what she like. I wonder like how PG we're supposed to be. Like, are we supposed to be like?
I think we're
golly,
supposed.
G.
Well, I think it's supposed to be like, you know, we're not being super profane on purpose, right? I think it's the,
I think it should be exactly PG is what we're like supposed to be shooting for. But I just imagine us being like a cartoon.
You know
like, golly, gee whiz.
yeah, like a Mickey Mouse cartoon from like, you know, Steamboat Willie era.
Oh, Steamboat Willie, I was actually kind of messed up. Have you seen those cartoons?
Well, I'm not talking about including the racist parts, but yeah.
Oh, like there was like really weird parts with Mickey too. Oh, anyways.
Okay, this is getting off topic, and maybe this is like that topic we're supposed to avoid because profanity and nudity is probably another one we gotta keep an eye out for. But anyways, folks at the game at hand, Major is gonna be going for the expansion at home. Desrow actually sneaks a probe in here, but I'm pretty sure Major knew that this was the case.
When's the last time you saw
yeah,
a probe sneak in there?
Right.
And actually put the proxy pylon down.
Well, it's usually the SCV that's hiding in the corner of the base for the Terran player, you know, waiting to go back for that second scout. Who was it? Was it Journey we were casting? Somebody found out there's like that 6-spot versus Zerg where you can hide like right in that like very cliff on the right side here.
I don't remember noting that specifically, but maybe.
Okay, well, maybe I wasn't casting with you then, because it was something we freaked out about, so. Probably like Namshar.
If we're casting Journey, I feel like we've only cast Journey when we're together.
I feel like you've only cast Journey when we're together. Because if you forget, I cast a lot of Korean stuff while you were like on vacation.
No, I thought you cast a bunch of European stuff.
Well, not two.
You cast
What
Dragon.
do you think? I cast like one thing?
You cast Dragon Invitation, which didn't have Journey. What else did you cast?
I don't know. Something.
Yeah, you didn't cast Journey when I was away.
Yo, I'll go through the VODs just to prove
These
you
are
wrong.
our thing, man.
You know it's spiteful
Oh wait,
like this, but
I cast Journey without you yesterday.
look, okay, focusing on saying, shut up, woman. All right, look at this, look at this, look at this. We talked about this earlier. It's a bit of a joke, but we actually have proxy widow mines possibly coming in. Now for Major, I don't think he's going to float the factory over. I want to see Starport, but there is a sweet spot over here where if you're not patrolling a mothership core, well, actually you land the factory and no one sees it coming.
I wonder if Desrow has had this happen to him before.
No, it's just going to be Starport. I like the Starport a lot better for this. Widow mines are so potently dangerous right now, guys. I mean, there was the buffs and all these things, and that's cool, but I don't really think it affected the workers' damage as much. I mean, beforehand, the widow mines destroyed worker lines. Widow mines still destroy worker lines. The idea is how you react to it. To describe what's about to happen, obviously he's going to try and drop him and hope his opponent doesn't catch him. You and I have seen like upwards of like 20 workers go down, some crazy stuff, but the idea is that if you're doing this properly in response, if you don't have detection, guys, you pull all the workers away but intentionally leave one really close, so the widow mine's guaranteed to only kill one worker instead of potentially 7 or 8.
Yeah. What I was wondering is when Desrow had that probe in there, did he pay attention to how much how much gas was taken?
I don't know, but he's going for blink. I just realized he actually doesn't have detection.
Exactly. So I think that he did not notice that gas was still being taken after when you usually pull off because you don't need it for a while if you're going to go for 3 Raxes. And this is really big. As Rickman is noting, that means he doesn't get an observer and he doesn't get emergency cannons because he doesn't think he needs them.
He can okay, well he can put he can put cannons down after the fact, right? But this Reaper comes back. And like he sees no robo. Do you know how good of a feeling that is? As someone going Widow Mines, unless you're in the natural, Desrow's not paying attention. He's gonna lose a lot of workers to this hit. Well, okay, the second one not so good, but the first one.
What was that? Widow Mine? Jeez.
Yeah, come on, dude, get a hold of yourself. He's still 6 workers dead. It's not bad, and Desrow still can't deal with this. He actually doesn't have a pylon in position to build a cannon, so they will rearm at least once. Meanwhile, Major's not done yet. There's another Widow Mine coming towards the main. Desrow's just stacked up all his workers here. All this does is make it more juicy. And when Desrow pulls off of this, guess what? Here comes Marines.
Oh my god.
Oh no. Okay, not too bad. 4, but still, here's all the Marines. This is ridiculous.
It is pretty redonkulous. And right before his 2 gateways
Oh,
finished too, so he can only
mothership
one at a time right now.
Oh.
No.
Getting that would have been huge though, because that would have taken so much away from the blink, because he wouldn't have the high ground vision anymore to fight with. It is worth noting you could have used blink on this map really nicely. I'm waiting for the Widow Mines to come off cooldown again.
Desrow forgot to put a pylon down immediately in the main. Oh, okay, he notices. But oh no.
Oh no, he's pulling back to where these ones are. Okay, they just went off. Never mind.
Yeah, he just blinked.
Lots of heart attack going on in this game. Anyways, for those who don't know, you can blink from down here to the natural. Like this is a good spot. That's why we get the pro possibly setting the pylon up over here. So if this is going to be blinking out of Desrow, it's not going to be coming towards the main. It's going to be hitting the back door.
Wait, how did he kill those? Okay, whatever.
What?
He killed the 2 in the natural before the cannon was finished, I thought. And I'm like, this is magic. How did you do that? But I guess I was mistaken. Whatever. So Major, how much does he kill right there? He killed 12 workers, which is pretty nice. And he also killed... how many units? Oh, no, actually he didn't kill any stalkers. Okay.
Yeah, here's Desrow coming in from the back on this. This is really funny because a lot of people don't know this. This actually doesn't get used that much because blink allons in general have kind of fallen off favor. So I mean, Desrow's storming through the front right now. Oh, he's not gonna use the back door. But I was gonna say that is an option available.
Well, he doesn't have any detection. His mothership core is coming right now. So.
Hi factory. Hi factory. How you doing? What's up? See you later.
This will hit before the stim. Yeah, stim. I mean, medevacs.
Oh, that Widow Mine though! Ships at the stalker. Now these ones at the front lines are almost dead.
Many units. Oh, they may not have stim, but they're just way too much.
This is like, okay, he's gonna fight with the time work, which isn't too bad, but the mothership core needs to back away. This is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, Desrow, you know.
Oh, the mothership core goes down. Now there's no other option. He's just forced to fight with blink stalkers into marauders.
Wait, blink stalkers survive for a really long time.
But it's marauders. Oh. GG grats. Desrow, I think I wanted him to go through the back so badly. Like I almost wish like whatever. Can't recover game.